It's late spring of 1944 on Walton's Mountain, and graduation season is here. Only, it doesn't feel like celebration. Not really. Jim Bob comes downstairs one morning looking halfway like a young man and halfway like a boy playing. Dress up, button-down shirt, bow tie, jacket and jeans. Gotta look sharp from the waist up, he says with a grin. That's all the photographer sees. Everyone chuckles, but there's a quiet undercurrent. He is graduating, but Mama's still away, recovering. John Boy's back in the Army. Ben's off at CB training. And truth be told, he doesn't even know most of the kids in his class anymore. People have moved. Families have scattered. 4 teachers have come and gone this year alone. When Jeffrey mutters, probably someone horrible, about the new substitute, well, no one argues. And then Corabeth Godzi walks into the schoolhouse. She's got her hair pinned just so, her lesson plans crisp, her ruler ready. Ike teases her at breakfast. It's just a few weeks, Corabeth. You act like you're commanding troops. She fires back that married couples shouldn't work together, and wonders out loud how they've lasted this long. Their banter is familiar, edged with love and irritation, the kind only decades of marriage can forge. Inside the classroom, Corabeth tries to bring order. She stops a senior from chewing gum firm, no nonsense. Then she brings up graduation. 6 students. 6. One boy shrugs and says he's gone not party the second he walks off that stage and jumps up, dancing with a girl right there in the aisle. Corabeth blinks, and then the photographer knocks at the door. Thank goodness. She dismisses them for pictures just in time. Meanwhile, John Boy's home, 10 days furlough. He finds his daddy in the mill office, buried in ledgers. And quietly, gently, he tells him he's asked to go overseas again. Back at school, Jeffrey's staying late 40 lines for acting up. But as Corabeth flips through his records, she stops, pauses. Jim Bob, his grades. They've climbed, steadily, consistently. If he aces the final science exam, he'll be valedictorian. At home that evening, love's still alive but fragile. Elizabeth's on the phone with Drew, laughing softly. Aaron's at the kitchen table, pen in hand, writing to Ashley Longworth in England. John Boy mentions Rome's fallen to the Allies, but the Nazis still hold most of Europe. And then Jim Bob strolls in, paint swatches in hand, trying to decide what color to make his old car. The family is stunned when they hear he might be valedictorian, and even more stunned when he admits, I'm gone na flunked the science test. On purpose. He doesn't want to give a speech. Doesn't want the spotlight. Feels like it's not him. Rose sees it. Next morning, she's measuring his jacket, taking it in, smoothing the shoulders. Elizabeth storms past with the trash, muttering something sharp. Jim Bob follows her outside. What's got into you? She turns, eyes flashing. You know the answers. And you're gonna lie anyway? That's not just letting yourself down, it's cheating your whole class. I'm ashamed of you. It's not anger in her voice, it's hurt. And it lands. Rose heads to Ike's store later, not for groceries, but for something special. A pair of gold cufflinks. $5. She offers $1 down and $1 a week. Ike hesitates, then nods. She doesn't argue. She just tucks them into her pocket. That evening, Aaron and Mary Ellen come home with news. Rome is free. Cheers go up until Rose quietly hands Aaron a letter. Ashley's written. He's married Margaret, a nurse he met on leave in London. He says he's sorry, that he loved her once, that the distance, it just got too wide. Aaron folds the letter, says she's fine, but her hands tremble. The next morning, Ike's voice crackles over the phone. Turn on the radio, now, today. The Allies have landed in France. Later, Elizabeth walks home from school with Drew. They joke about prom in 3 years. If we still like each other, he says, smiling. Then he adds, almost casually, think I'd like to join the tank corps. Elizabeth stops, looks at him. 3 of my brothers are already over there. Mary Ellen's husband died at Pearl Harbor. And you want the war to keep going so you can prove something? Her voice breaks. That's not brave. That's selfish. And it's stupid. She walks off, leaving him standing there stunned. Jim Bob's out back, sanding his car. Elizabeth passes. He calls after her. What color do you think I should go with? She doesn't look back. Yellow. Just like you. Jason comes home soon after, finds his little brother brooding. Jim Bob confesses again. I'm not a leader, Jason. Never have been. And Jason, quiet, thoughtful Jason says, Grandpa Zabe used to tell me, son, leadership ain't about wanting the job. It's about doing it when it's yours to do. That night, the family gathers around the radio. Roosevelt's voice, steady, solemn, fills the room. When it's over, John looks at his sons. No words needed. They pull on their jackets, walk out to the woodpile. Axes rise and fall in the twilight, not for warmth, but for resolve. The next morning, the science exam begins. Jim Bob's not there. Corabeth's called upstairs. Elizabeth says he's locked in his room. Minutes pass. The class writes in silence. And then the door creaks open. Footsteps on the stairs. Jim Bob walks in, hair tousled, breath quick, and takes his seat. Elizabeth looks up. Their eyes meet, and she smiles. Later that day, Corabeth makes the announcement. James Robert Walton scored 100%. He is valedictorian of the class of 1944. She starts outlining her plans for the ceremony, decorations, program, speeches. Jim Bob listens, then stands. I'd like to talk to the class after school. Just us, a beat. Corabeth nods, though she doesn't yet know what's coming. Ben arrives home just in time. Cindy sees it in his eyes before he says a word. He's shipping out. She tries to stay strong, but the tears come thinking of all he'll miss as little Virginia grows. He gives her a camera. For memories, he says. Then lifts it, snaps one of her, his memory to carry. The day of the ceremony, and Jim Bob's still not home. He and the others have been gone all day in Rockfish. When he finally walks in, he goes straight upstairs. Rose follows, hands him a small box. He opens it, gold cufflinks, gleaming in the lamplight. He looks up at her. Doesn't say thank you, just nods, and she knows he understands. Downstairs, Corabeth's flustered, her plans discarded, her authority gentle overridden. Then Roland Piper walks in, holding a simple boutonniere. They bought this for you, he says. Said you were the best teacher they had this year. Her shoulders relax. She takes it, pins it to her blouse. The schoolhouse is full. The ceremony begins. And just as Corabeth introduces the valedictorian, John and Grandma slip in the back door. Jim Bob stands, adjusts his cuffs, her gift gleaming at his wrists. He looks out, not at notes, but at faces he's known his whole life. If things were normal, he begins, voice clear, calm, we'd be talking college. Jobs, maybe even girls. A soft laugh ripples through the room. But things aren't normal. Last week, boys not much older than us landed on the beaches of Normandy. Some didn't make it off the sand. He pauses, swallows. So today, my classmates and I went to Rockfish, and we enlisted. A stunned silence. It's our gift to this mountain, and when we come back, we're gonna need you then too. Back at home, he comes down, duffel bag in hand. He walks through the room, handing things over, his favorite book to Elizabeth, his wrench to Jason, his cap to Ben. Air Corps, he says with a grin. Think I've got a shot. Grandma doesn't say a word. She just walks to the mantel, takes his graduation photo, and places it beside the others. John Boy, in his uniform. Ben, Jason, all serving, all hers. Then headlights. A car pulls up. Lemon yellow, shining. John Boy steps out, hands Jim Bob the keys. Just like you wanted, Elizabeth says softly, and this time there's no sting in her voice. Jason walks over to his father, quietly. I put in my request too. For overseas, no speeches, no grand farewells. Just hugs, tight, long, wordless. Foreheads pressed together, hands gripping shoulders. Tears wiped with sleeves. And then they walk down the lane to the bus stop, toward the war, toward the unknown. The door closes behind them. Inside, the fire crackles, the radio hums softly. And on the mantel, 5 photographs now. Side by side, waiting.